Okay, and with that, I think we should be live. Hi everyone, I'm the Cryptic Hybrid, and welcome to today's very special nighttime stream, where we're gonna talk all about Plot of the Druid, upcoming point-and-click adventure game. And here I have the person who's plotting the Plot of the Druid. See what I did there? This is Yakir. Yakir, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, Chris, for inviting me.
Yeah,
It's really pleasure.
it's good to have you here, and people don't know, but we've been talking quite a bit. We talked yesterday, today a little bit, and we really hit it off. So this should be a very, very enjoyable interview. So first of all, for people who don't know, tell me a little bit about yourself and the team that you are coordinating for Plot of the Druid.
So basically, I'm a computer engineer, and I work many years for the high tech. Start to work on embedded, like microchips, and then I went off this expertise and want to have more fun than just code. So I went for entertainment and become a VR developer, with a headset. So I make a simulation for the military and for the police forces. And then after that, I was trying to make actually my dream. So my dream was always to make point and click games because I like it when I was a kid. And the first thing I actually did was I entered Friends project. And this project was Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. So I was involved in the remake for this game. And
When was that? When was that released? Like what year? Like the original game. When was that released? Do you remember?
it was
90.
released in 93, I think,
Yeah.
or 92.
Yeah, something like that.
Um,
It's been a long time, yeah.
yeah, it's actually the first game I saw in point and click.
Oh,
And
okay.
this was actually what drew me to those fantasy games. Um, and then after I got experience, and Disney actually shut this project down. And
Of course they will.
after 2 years of working on that
Hmm.
and really enjoy from making it, then I was like, okay, now I'm going to make a new game that no company can say you can continue doing.
Right.
And that's the point I start to think on plot of the void. And then I start to think who will able to help me to make that game, like who trying to find the appropriate people with the professional ones that have exactly what it needs to make an awesome game.
Hmm.
Because I tried to make it myself alone, and it's not that easy.
So who did you recruit so far? Who else is
So
working?
it was a long road because many people come and go, especially because I didn't have lots of budget
Hmm.
to make it. Um, and I start with like working first with a studio from India, and they made an awesome art, but it wasn't enough because they wasn't too innovative. Like when I tried to direct them, we had some problem with communication in
Hmm.
general. Then I tried another artist that made good concepts, uh, but he was like he can do it with a limited budget, so
Okay.
he left. So there are many people that come and go,
Hmm.
and I was always there because I had to stick to my vision, and it wasn't easy. But um, after like almost 2 3 years, I found an artist and his name is Michel. That he's really talented and make the art for the demo. And then I also want him to be animator, and it was the first time he tried that thing, and he told me like my experience is in comic book. He was Canadian, French Canadian,
Mm.
and I was like, okay, but do you want to be animator? And he's like, yes. So okay, go
Give it a
on.
go.
I'll give
Right.
you my permission, and I will pay you for that.
Hmm.
Let's try to make frame by frame and see how it goes. And it was amazing process because both of us was learning from that process.
Right.
So Michelle was taking care for both art and animation,
Hmm.
and there are other people that do animation and art for this game, but he was the the leader for the art. I will
Hmm.
lead him how I wanted to make, how I wanted it to be, but he was the one that actually drew it.
Hmm.
It was the same for the animation. Like I told him, like this is the animation I want it to be. Let's do storyboards. Let's talk about that. And there was a process like revision one, revision two, until we get to the point.
So how
Both
many
the
revisions?
writing.
How many revisions did you go through?
Oh my! You don't know how many revision for each animation or art needs to be.
Mm.
Like it could reach almost like 10 or 12
Mm.
version until you get to what you want.
All right.
About the writing, mostly I wrote the concept and the ideas and everything. And
Mm.
in the last 2 years, another one named Aaron, also from Canada, helped me with like take the ideas and put these to actual words. Like
Mm.
you have good ideas, but you need the technical expertise for that.
Mm.
So I'm not a native speaker, so I had to find someone that has good
Yeah.
technical text editing. So basically, what we are doing is like I'm giving the vision, and then we start talking like brainstorming and everything, and then we start to write, rough concept, and then we start to polish it more and more, and add more jokes, and add the British tone. We do research because both of us actually are not a British speakers.
Mm.
So we try to search
So
how
what
things
did
needs to be
what
pronounced.
did that entail? I really want to know what you looked at to find to get inspired about British humor. Like what? Like Monty Python, stuff like that, or what? What did you check?
Yeah, actually, my inspiration, the main inspiration came from two games, two British games. One is
Okay.
Simon the Sorcerer, which
Oh
I
yeah.
really like as a kid, and the other one was Discord.
Oh yeah.
Discord
Classics.
that
You really went
yeah.
for yeah. Okay, that's good.
So both of them is British humor. And I really like them. And I was like, okay, I want my game to have a vibe like that, like
Hmm.
a light-hearted game that, everything can happen there and everything funny can happen every second, something like that. But, with a witty humor, not, something that you need to think until
All
you
right.
get the point, like, I like it. So that was the point.
So
So I talk about
sorry, go ahead.
the one that helped me with writing, and I'm
Hmm.
doing the entire programming
Hmm.
because this is actually my expertise, and also I'm making the design for like the puzzles and for example, we'll talk about it later, but about the shape shifting and things like innovative mechanics that
Hmm.
might influence the game. And there was music composer that was from Israel, and now he went to Sweden. He traveled to Sweden, and his name is Eric. and he is responsible for the music. And of course, with my direction, we get to fantasy atmosphere, to get to the point that we actually feel that we are in a magical world. Yes.
Right. So, because one of the things that you it's kind of low key because you mentioned 2 years. We worked on this for 3 years. How long has this project been in the works at this point in time?
Uh, I started to work on the story 5 years ago. Okay, 5 years, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle, there was the project with Indiana Jones remaster.
Right.
So it make a delay for my game because I start to work on that. So I work both on them in parallel, but it took my time too because I
Mm-hmm.
also work on full time in the high tech at those years.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, actually, I'm working on that like maybe 5 years, but full time, I'm like 1.5 year
Mm-hmm.
in
And
full
and
time.
and and that full time, is that any way related to the lockdowns and everything? I know we talked a bit yesterday, but if you can tell people like how did that change your ability to work on Plot of the Druid, because this was a big change for pretty much everyone in the world. Well, maybe not in China because they ship them off to work pretty quickly. But how did that, the lockdowns, the COVID, and all the craziness around it, how did that change your workflow when it comes to the game?
So in general, the lockdown is really bad thing for everyone. But for video games, it's actually making video games is actually it's doing good first because
Mm-hmm.
if you are locking down and you are locked down and you are at your home, then you have more time to work on that without too much distraction. Uh, and also um, um, people in Israel get money from the country if they don't work. If they don't work in their
Is it
legal work.
forced? Is it forced to yeah, yeah,
It was forced.
yeah,
So
obviously
because
that's
of that,
yeah.
so
Sorry,
there
go
is
ahead.
like yeah, go on. Yeah.
Sorry, no, continue. Sorry, because there's a little delay or anything, but it's fine. Continue.
Okay.
Sorry.
So it's they finance you because you don't work in your full-time job.
Right.
And at that moment, I could work on my passion, on my dream job. So that's helped me, financially.
Mm-hmm. And you could work more on Plaza Druid, and with that regard, last year was the time when you released the Night Watch, the demo version. So that kind of worked out. I'm guessing if it wasn't for the if it wasn't the case with lockdowns, maybe it would have taken longer for you to put the demo out. That's what I was thinking.
For sure, yes,
Yeah. Hmm.
absolutely.
Okay, so let's go right into the actual game. So what's the setting? What's the world of Plato the Druid? What inspiration? Where did you take inspiration from? And what can you tell us about the world? Maybe the lore? Anything that you can think of that would make us find our way around it.
Yeah. So the world itself is a fantasy with a medieval theme, and most of it is filled with fairy tales characters that has a twist. If you play the demo, then you probably met Robin Hood,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
probably know who is related to from the fairy tales, but he has a very different backstory and very different desire. So this is something that I really like, for example, in Simon, and I didn't saw it in game since then. that you have fairy tales that has a very different backstory. So the twist there, you will find many characters with a twist, but also new characters that we are just inventing them. Like Desmond and Wagon, the talking fish that just want to be the favorite pet for Archie, and his rival Wagon, the parrot, the Snitcher parrot. So it's a combination of fairy tales characters that has a modern twist, but also a new character that has actually grotesque problems. So, and you will see it more, you will see later in the story that when it advances, you will see that there are things that actually drive those things. It's not just happen like that. There is like unbalanced world, and contrary to droids that try to bring harmony, something else is actually change the harmony. Okay, it's not just change the harmony in total, but it change the harmony in elements, in their elements. Like think on wisdom and love and wealth that change their energy, and those energy impact the world. Okay, like
And
think someone, yes.
no, sorry, I was thinking, and this harmony, is it like in the game? Is it, does the player disturb it somehow? Does the player need to, you know, get the balance back? Right? Like, is that like a major element in your quest to, you know, kind of bring balance to the force, let's say, to, well, to the, you know, to the world?
Exactly. So that's his actually main task is to maintain the balance, but the balance, as you can see, is contained from elements. And like think that if you have less love, but more happiness, and you see people really happy, but they don't care about each other, things like that, or like the health, the bar for the health, the energy bar is decreasing. So people actually suffer from health, yes, but they are still in love with each other. So think
Yeah.
on all the possibilities that can have because of this unbalance. It could be like in a funny ways, like people might start to fight with each other on very small things just because there is no harmony.
Right.
So these characters are really unique because everything could happen.
So
And Jace needs to
the
restore the balance.
so these imbalances, because that's something new. Like, this isn't something that's, you know, that comes out of the demo, at least. So this is new for me and probably everyone
Exactly.
outside.
In secret.
Um, it's because, you know, that's why we do this, so we can reveal stuff and, you know, get exclusives. It's, I was thinking, is that imbalance, is that going to be not only well, maybe manage would be the word, depending on your character's actions? If you choose to do maybe one thing one way, help another character, is, are you going to be an active, let's say, element that, you know, that kind of goes through all of those crazy things and can choose where the balance is? Like, if I want to help everyone who's, you know, if I want to make everyone fight more, will I be able to do that in the game? Like, you know, bring the balance in such a way, or mess up with the balance in such a way that people are, you know, throughout the game more violent, or make them happy all the time, or make them, I don't know, sad all the time, or whatever? Is that something that is going to be throughout the game? Like, you know,
There is
something
a
that you have to,
possibility, yes, there is a
yeah.
possibility for that. It could be a cool mechanic.
No, just
Like part of solving puzzles.
yeah.
Um, but yes, there is something there. It's not the entire issue. It's not focused on just on that.
All right.
But yes, there is something that you can control. You can control things. The balance can be like high or low, and you can choose, but you need to choose wisely, for sure.
So, but based on your actions, those metrics will change. That's what I was, going to.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
So it's all up to you to bring some, balance, but the way everything goes is still depending on your actions, and who you want to to help, or however. Is that like is that something that you're gonna have maybe multiple ways of finishing a quest or helping someone or doing a puzzle? Is that something that you're thinking about?
Yes, I was thinking to make in special cases uh, two or three ways to finish some puzzle, and the decision is actually based on the difficulty level. Like if you
Oh.
play the easy mode, yes, the young apprentice, then probably you will have more options to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you play Master of Disaster, then you maybe need to do both of them to solve.
Mm-hmm. And
So
would the difficulty increase of the difficulty of the puzzle solving increase with these options?
if they increase during the game,
Yeah, yeah. Like
um,
if I choose to go young apprentice, the easiest mode, right? Are the puzzle is the puzzle solving going to be easier, or or it would be kind of the same thing, except you have to just do more and think more about how you solve them.
um, like the second option you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
because the young apprentice is actually meant for people that don't have experience in the genre
Mm-hmm.
or for kids. So if you want them to have a soft landing,
Right. Okay.
to that genre, and you don't want to overload them in too much puzzles and
Mm-hmm.
want them to actually enjoy the story part,
Mm-hmm.
then it should maintain actually almost the same
Oh, okay.
for the easy mode.
So I'm not gonna play on that mode because I mean, I
Yeah,
mean,
if you are
it's
a
just
finish one,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's nothing bad. I like that, having options, especially for people who are, like you said, younger or less experienced. I just, if I can get the hardest puzzles, I want to see the hardest puzzles or the hardest missions and how to solve them, because that's one of the cool challenges in a point and click adventure game that I look forward to, at least. So, and I've played quite a few, so I'm not afraid. It'll be fun. Okay, so sorry, I'm checking also the chat, and so tell me a little bit about. So the game is called Plot of the Druid. So druids are a thing in the game, in the world. What's their place in the world? How important are they to the other people, to maybe the ruling class there, to the peasants, to this balance? Where is the druid's place in the world that you're creating?
so basically this is a droid sitcom. It's like, it's a comedy about droids because those from the first place, I choose the protagonist to be a droid in a droid academy. It's because this specific race didn't get enough attention. If you see all the fantasy games and movies, they are always like they are the sidekicks and not the hero.
Right.
They are always like
Yeah.
just support you, and they are like too nice and too helpful, and they're like they are not harm to anybody. They don't do too much, damage. Yeah. So I was like, no, but they can be much more than that.
Hmm.
They have very special abilities. Why not show their powers?
Hmm.
So they will have a significant meaning in the story, and you will learn about their beliefs and also about you will see how they teach, and also what the task needs to become actual droid, an official droid. Because no one actually born like, okay, now you are a droid. You don't born like a droid. You need
Right.
to learn that. It's like you are just a human that you need to progress and to be more smart, get more knowledge, and get more abilities, and start to learn how to talk with animals.
Mhm.
So you need to learn all of this, and it's not that easy. It's
But
like, you know,
in your world, in the world of Plato the Druid, can anyone become a druid if they go through the learning experience, or do they have to have something to make them special and able to go through all those challenges to become a druid? Is it like like, I don't want to make necessarily the reference with Star Wars all the time, but in this case, do they have to have something like the Force in them, or something like that, or could anyone become a druid?
okay, so it's think on that like two classes. The first class is the one that comes from Droid Legacy,
Hmm.
and they have like they expected them to be more to advance much more, you know,
Hmm.
in a fast way. And the second class that it's actually hard for them even to accept to that academy is all the other creatures in the world. Like you can see a stupid ogre trying to be like, oh, I'm trying to be a droid, you know, something like that. So everybody could be a droid, but
Hmm.
it will be hard for them because they don't have the king, you know, they didn't born to a droid legacy.
Hmm. Okay, so that's important. The ancestors, who your parents are, what they did. So okay, so that
And
that
what they
matters,
expect from you. They
right?
also expect from you to be much more than that. And that's a
Right, more pressure.
responsibility.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So maybe we should go a little bit, because it ties in. So what in which class does the main character, where does he fall in? Is he one of those people that has a druid past, and so people expect him to become a druid, or is he one of the commoners who's gonna kind of have a problems throughout this process? Because in the demo he's trying to cheat on an exam, and I'm thinking, if you try to cheat on the exam, it could go either way. You could be just someone who's not capable of taking the exam and passing, or he might be just someone who's really pressured to get that exam and finish it and get a good grade and pass, because his parents say that, oh, you have to do this, you're supposed to do this, or so where does he fall in? Where is he in this?
So there is really high expectation for him
Hmm.
because his grandfather was actually one of he was first one of the founder of the academy,
Oh,
and also he was one of the.
sorry. So can you say that again, because we missed you a little bit? I don't know, the sound cut off.
You can hear me now better?
No, it's really, you're really low right now. I don't know why. Did something happen to the camera?
It sometimes, I
Okay,
don't know
now
what
it's better.
happened. No, it's better. Okay.
Okay, now it's good. Okay.
So, um, so there is a really high expectation for him,
Mm-hmm.
for Jace, because his grandfather is actually, he was the founder of the academy and also one of the consular members.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is he is he still alive? His grandfather?
no,
Oh,
sadly, no.
I thought you were going to say that. It's a secret. We don't know.
I was thinking to put it like in a secret, but you will see it very fast at the next
Oh,
chapter.
okay,
So
okay. Okay, so he's a lot. There's a lot of pressure on the main character, because from the demo, he seems to be kind of like kind of aloof. He seems to be like, I want to become a druid because I want money. Like, that's literally how it goes. So it's like, wait, is this guy for real? Is that his only motivation? He just wants money? I mean, that's a little weird, but
there's
no,
also
apparently he has.
motivation for him to make money.
Hmm.
That's another
Hmm.
motivation. Uh, he just wants to make his magic show, that's a stupid, of course, motivation. It's a very like in a low state.
Hmm.
But not everybody starts with the big dreams.
Yeah, yeah, true. But it's just funny because he seems like in the demo he seems like he doesn't really belong there in the school, and I don't want to spoil what happens in the demo, but everyone can play it. They can find the link to the Steam page in the description below. But it's like he's just a guy who wants to pass through everything, and he's very shallow. Basically, he's very shallow about this very important thing, which is druid magic. And you kind of feel for him, but it's like, okay, that's gonna get him in trouble a lot, I think. This idea of cutting corners, cheating on tests, that's probably not gonna end well for him, and he's probably gonna get in a lot of trouble because of that. So it's interesting that he's probably gonna have, later, he's gonna have people, telling him off, saying that, you know what, you're not taking this serious. You should do more. You should do this. You should do that. But I guess we'll have to see in the full release.
Exactly.
So tell me a little bit about. So we have. Okay, so Jesse's the playable character since we got to him, right? Um, is he the only playable character in the game, or are you thinking of adding more that we don't know of yet?
Um, I have a character, another one that needs to be like a playable character,
Mm-hmm.
but it really depends how far I can get with the story.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I wrote the story, I wrote it I imagine it very big story. And now that I see budget is also something that impact me, then I start to see that maybe I should split the story to couple of games,
Mm-hmm.
and that impact if that character is going to be like it depends how far I can get with the budget, and according to
Mm-hmm.
that I can uh, think if that character is going to be a playable or not, because
Mm-hmm.
it could be in the first game, it could be for sure,
Mm-hmm.
but is that a playable character or not? That's a question of how far I can get, um, how far I can get with according to the budget. That's
Right.
that's the question actually. Because
So
I can put that character in the game, you can put it, but to fit the story, it needs to advance a lot to get to that point that we can play with that character.
mhm. And would that character bring also new mechanics? Is that okay? So
Yeah,
that's okay. So that's an order of magnitude of okay. Okay, so it's a lot of work to add.
exactly.
Okay, okay, okay. I get it. Because the main character has quite a few tricks up his sleeve, so that's really cool. So maybe we can talk about that aspect because it was surprising to me and I like it. So basically, the main character Jesse he can transform into animals, right? Is that the limitation? Can he transform in other into other people, or is just animals?
That's something I can't answer.
Okay, okay,
Better
okay,
not to
fair enough.
answer.
Fair enough, but okay, but definitely he can transform in other animals that we know of, right? So is that something that is going to be evolving throughout the game? For example, in the demo you have the option to transform into a raccoon. As you progress through the game, will you find the spells to maybe transform into other animals? Is that an idea to later on in the game you'll be able to go into and become a bear, or later on you could become a deer, or stuff like that, or a raven? Who knows?
Yes, so your intuition is correct. Yes,
And and
exactly.
and every animal is gonna have different mechanics based on their and and well, based on their physiognomy, I guess. Physiology, yeah.
Yeah.
So so uh and is that going to be a big part with the puzzles? Like you'll have to be able to transform in order to solve certain puzzles, or will you be able to just do it in human form?
The human form is has its own advantages.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't do everything, like an animal, like you saw in the demo.
Mm-hmm.
So there are parts actually that you even don't have ability to shape it.
Mm-hmm.
There are
But
parts like that. So
but technically, if you wanted to, would you be able to finish Plot of the Druid, go through all the story without actually transforming, or you will have
no,
to? Okay, so
no. I think that the demo also proved that
mhm,
because when you play, uh, you can't finish the
finish,
demo.
right,
Yes.
right. So is that this the demo Night Watch, is that kind of like an introduction to the world that's kind of a separate story to the full release, or is it just something that you'll play in the full release because that's the intro to the full game?
Okay, so it's an introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it wasn't written in my first story. First, I wrote chapter one,
Mm-hmm.
and then I tried to make it like demo, but the chapter was very long, and when I tried to cut parts of it, it wasn't represented good enough to the demo. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pause everything, and I'm going to add another section before that. That's not it.
Mm-hmm.
My course was actually uh, born during the production because it wasn't designed there. And when I finished Night Watch and I look at that, and it was like, okay, I think you should well. Because it gives a good introduction to what happened. Because in my vision, it will start with the consular chamber event. That was
Mm-hmm.
the start. So you saw that. And that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
actually the starting point for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I will just, okay, so let's see what happened before that.
Right. Well, and you don't go back that much. It's just like the night before, a few hours
Yeah,
earlier,
it's
so
the
it's
night
fine.
before, but
Yeah.
it's a long, pretty long
Mm-hmm.
demo.
Right, yeah, yeah. It is actually quite beefy, and it's nice that you have so many mechanics and quite a lot of characters in it already. So, tell me a little bit about other characters that you're gonna see. So I know on the Steam page you mentioned a princess. You mentioned all sorts of other like wood spirits. So what else are we going to see in the full list in terms of NPCs? People who might be good, bad. We're gonna have to help them, give us quests, or like what can we expect in this world in addition to Robin Loot, who by the way, it would be really awesome if you could take him with you with the main character, because he seems like he'd be a nice companion. And just I think he would have some nice things to say about the world around him. And he's just a
Uh,
skull, so it's fine.
yeah, it
He's
doesn't take you too
portable.
much space in your inventory.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
He's
yeah,
portable. It's good.
just get rid of the part that it will not fool in your pockets and everything is okay.
Yeah. I mean, come on. He's a skull. It's not like he's gonna smoke. It just he doesn't need anything like
Yeah,
that.
if we quote Jay, you are just a skull sitting on a bookshelf.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
about another characters, um, did you saw that there's going to be a werewolf with a eating disorder?
Oh. Okay. So
So
what's he about? Is he like a big bad wolf type of thing, like from those stories, or?
um, there's always a twist.
Okay. Yeah.
So why he has the eating disorder? I will let the game to answer that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to spoil here and that too
Right.
much, but that's also something. And you mentioned the cabinet. There is a cabinet that has a really, uh, you know, messy night, and
Hmm.
she just woke up in. It's a wood spirit that just woke up to life in a cabinet, and she's like, "Oh my God, what am I doing? I want to go home," something like that. And the princess that you mentioned has an irritating bladder.
Oh,
So, it's like, what? I need to save her from that, because you always saving princess, it's so noble. So,
yeah. I-
there are, there are women, women, there are human like us. So
mhm,
why not to show also the personal stuff?
mhm. Yeah, that's I really like this idea because it's you have a lot of familiar characters, right? Like Robin Hood, a princess. What fairy tale doesn't have a princess, right? Or werewolf. Okay, werewolf are we know what they're about, right? Or a parrot, a talking parrots. You get that from all sorts of areas, but you can mix things around and make it something totally different. Like Robin Hood. We know the story, and in Plot of Druid, he's just a head, right? Well, a skull basically, not even a head. He's just a skull. And the princess,
A
I don't know. That'll
living,
be
living skull.
yeah. Well, yeah, but I mean, compared to the man that was Robin Lutz, he's a shadow of his former self. But he's pretty cool. I like him. I gotta say, he seems to be a little bit grumpy. I think he keeps a little bit keeps a bit of a grudge based on what happened to him during his life, but I think he's okay. As he just needs, I don't know, he needs to find happiness in his afterlife. Maybe that's the
He
problem.
sounds pretty happy in the
I don't know.
memories. Like, just give him the pipe and everything is okay.
Yeah, he still sounded grumpy. I mean, you know what? I'm sure 5 minutes later he would find something, new to complain about, that he would want something else. It's not only the pipe. I don't know. He seemed like that type of, grumpy old fellow. Just he's a skull. So yeah, I guess that could ruin your day. But so that's really cool. I really like the this idea of mixing familiar characters and playing around with them to see what happens. Tell me a little bit. I know there's a mention of a tournament in in the description of the game. What's this tournament about? Is that like a big event in the world?
It should be a big event. And right now, it's still, I'm not sure if it will be in that game. Might be in
Mm.
the sequel. And it's after I was discussing a lot with my team members about that. And because it become like there are too much happen in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to make it too much, like too many goals in the game, too much
Mm-hmm.
big goals in the game, then it might be moved to the sequel. Um, and that's a development, that's the development business is always like you need to be prepared for changes. You can write your script, but sometimes you need to see like, okay, I need to see how I can manage the entire project with
Mm-hmm.
all the scope.
But
So
what's the major arc in terms of the quest line? Is it to get you know to get Jesse to become a druid? Is that like the big goal of the game, or is it something else?
that's a sub goal
Mm-hmm.
that's become like a 30% of the game is about
Mm-hmm.
become a droid so you can bring the balance.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the current skills you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like think that Gyrush wants to be a pirate and then defeat Lashak, right?
Right.
So you have like a subplot. The subplot is first I need to become a pirate.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when he becomes a druid, is that gonna bring any new abilities to him? To Jesse is gonna have, I don't know, magical powers? Will he able to brew potions? Will like is that gonna be a major change when it comes to his abilities?
Yes. If it won't be, then why Jace will bother? He
Mm-hmm.
won't bother at all. So yes, it will impact in a significant way, in a way that he actually can balance the war.
And up until then, he won't be able to do like magic or anything like that. Is he like? Is
He
that kind of a
is
big cutoff?
apprentice. He's apprentice, and apprentice know things. They know things. They are not the best, especially if you are a disgraced one.
Well, I mean, technically, he's what, one test away from finishing, so he's pretty
Yeah,
close
but
there.
look,
He's
think how he got to that point.
yeah,
How he
true.
got to that point that he's like one task away. That he do that in a very you know loyal, not loyal, but
Noble way
does he
or
do all the work by himself?
right? Yeah, probably not. He
I
probably
don't
cheated.
know.
He probably cheated his way all the way, like up to that point. So yeah,
I don't
he's
know.
like
You
yeah,
should ask him.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not the one that has the answer. You should ask Jace.
I mean, technically you have the answer, but I get it. I get it. We'll see in the full release. Tell me a little bit more about the gameplay. So it is a point-and-click adventure game. Would you say that it has like the classic, you know, pick up stuff, combine things in your inventory, use them, or did you, you know, mix that formula in any sort of fashion for this project?
I'm always trying to be innovative.
Hmm.
I'm trying to get, for example, mini games to be because mini games are giving you, the best opportunity to try and get new mechanics, for example.
Hmm.
So I will know that I have some ideas, of course, but I will know that when I will reach that point. So,
Hmm.
for example, one thing that I want to do was mixing potion in a very innovative way. And when I tried to check my idea, the gameplay wasn't good. It wasn't good enough. So I uh, returned back to
Went
the
back to the
old
drawing
school.
board.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it depends on how well the gameplay will be. I'm trying always to be innovative, and if the gameplay is not good enough, then I return back.
Are you thinking of adding maybe some events that would potentially end in fail states? Like you try to do this mission, and if you don't do it the right way, you kind of have to just reload a previous save because it's game over. Maybe your character dies or he transforms into a, I don't know, a rabbit or something. Is that on your mind?
In general, I didn't like those when I played games like Sierra when you died
Mm-hmm.
and you need to return again on something because it might give you too much pressure or too
Mm-hmm.
much you know you want to take your time in adventure games.
Demotivate. It would demotivate you probably.
Yes, and there are
Yeah.
people that like, oh my, I don't want to afraid to choose. For
Mm-hmm.
example,
Right.
if you try, for example, to talk with Pizza, the mirror in the
Mm-hmm.
demo. So did you try to
Yeah, I did.
fail 3 times?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
I did. Yeah, yeah.
so we'll not spoil, but okay. So,
Yeah, basically you can, have problems if you don't choose the right path. But yeah, yeah. So that's not, yeah, that's a fair point because it might be, and I think your point to the pressure, right? Because if you think that a wrong answer or a wrong choice would lead to something huge, like a death state or something big, or you have to reload, then you'd be, I don't know, you'd feel more anxiety when you choose something. It's like, wait. If I choose this, okay, but what if I do that? But what if I? It's a little weird. Usually, I mean, and I think you're on the right path. You'd want the player to choose to try everything, and one thing would
explore.
work. Yeah,
to
exactly. To
explore.
explore, and one thing will eventually work. Is just you're not going to be punished for trying the other three things out, three options.
Mhm.
Okay, so rubber tree. What's with the rubber tree? Wait, what? So Aaron in the chat. Wait, sorry, just because we okay, but for everyone watching, we do take questions. So put them in the chat, and we are going to go through a few of them. Most of them, depending on the time. Let's see. So Aaron says there might be a situation where you would adjust the balance to solve part of a puzzle and then readjust it to solve the rest of the puzzle. Oh, that's talking about the elements in the world. That's interesting. That's an interesting mechanic. I don't know what he's saying about the rubber tree though. It's a gag from Monkey Island. I don't remember
Oh
that.
yeah,
I don't
I
remember that.
remember that.
I don't remember that.
The,
It's
uh,
before my time.
it's the Curse of Monkey Island, and it was about, if I remember correctly, it was like you need to cut those rubber tree into piles. I don't
Ah,
remember exactly what was there, but yeah, it was something like that.
mm.
I
Okay.
actually see it in my head right now at that location.
Mm. Well, so rubber tree. I mean, it's so I haven't played, so I know it's blasphemous, but I haven't played because they were before my time. So just start with me like in '97, something like that, and then we're
The
fine.
Curse of Monkey Island was in, um, I think it was in the 90,
I
uh,
I
99,
Really?
99.
Okay, then I totally missed that too. I don't know. I just I was younger. I was playing other stuff back then. Come on, a real tournament in nine. Actually, wait, Heroes of Might and Magic. What the hell? I mean, 1999. That's the
We are both in the same age, by the way. So,
yeah. We're like I'm old. Like we're the same age. I'm old, and Yakir is the young one here.
and I'm
Uh,
a droid.
yeah. Well, so uh, tell me a little bit more about something that's would be obvious for everyone, the visual style. So we talked a little bit yesterday about it, and when I was thinking of what else I could talk to you about, I was really thinking that, and I don't know if this is something you work on. It seems like Jesse has a bit of a different visual style than the rest of the characters. 'Cause I was watching my playthrough of the demo, and I was thinking the guards of the Druid Tower, like Darren or Borat and Dwayne, sorry, um, they looked a little bit like they were from a a comic book, specifically like Asterix and Obelix comic book, whereas the main character seems like he's more proper. I think he's more handsome, definitely. He doesn't have so many cartoonish features compared to the others. Is that like what you wanted to go for, or are you thinking of maybe tweaking his design specifically, like the main character's design?
Yeah. So that's a good question because the first art was Jace. The first art when I started design it was Jace, and it was
Mm-hmm.
made by the India studio that I was mentioning at the
Mm-hmm.
start of the conversation. He was made by the India studio, and they have their own style,
Right.
for drawing. And I start to make animation for him and start to put him in the world. And then when I decided to work with Michel, that has his own style, which actually I prefer because he has more cartoonish style, and that's what I want from the first place. Because for comedy game, cartoonish is the best way to express all the funny moments.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so after I finished the demo, I was telling myself that I'm going to redesign things for, especially in his face, to make more cartoonish expression. So if you see, almost at the end of the demo, there's just one moment that he opened his eyes in cartoonish way. So he's like, "Ah," something like that. And I told Michelle, just do it because I want to see how he look in cartoonish way,
Yeah.
and I like it. And this is what is my goal for the next chapter is actually to start to get more of cartoonish way for Jace. And it was just technically because uh, the way Jace look right now, it was just from technical issues and
Right.
not because I want that to be different from the other characters. I
Because
want
he
it to be
does
much more
stand out.
cartoonish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he does stand out because of that a little bit, and it's. I mean, you would want some consistency with the visuals, obviously.
of
So
course.
it seemed like he was too handsome. What can I say? He was too handsome for the whole world.
No,
Everyone else was so.
Handsome was desired to be like that
Mm,
uh, because think that all the droids are all the droids are don't care about
the
how they
looks.
look.
Hmm.
Yes, they connected with nature. They are so luitek. So, and I was like, okay, so this character needs to be very different from the others. He needs to stand out. So he actually take care for himself. He really like he also talking about his how handsome he look, like haircut and other things. It's
Right.
just that because he needs to be different than the others. That's what makes Chase actually special if
Yeah.
you look on other droids.
And
And
does
that's why his also robes looks more stylized. Like
mm,
take
so
care
so
of that.
because of this attitude of his to that he wants to look good, and the image is very important to him too. Does this bring any animosity from the other maybe students or the druids who teach at the school? Is that something that you're gonna see him dealing with?
Of course, you will see.
No, so he's not gonna be okay. Is he gonna have like a nerdy friend or something where he copies from? Because he seems like that guy, that he just someone who's like a nerd, a druid nerd, student, and he just copies of them. Is that something that we're gonna like a semi sidekick of his?
So you just need to see the next chapter,
Okay, okay,
and
fair enough.
you will get all your answers.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Tell me a little about the audio, right? The audio part, the music. What are you thinking in terms of the themes for the game? Is there going to be anything changing from chapter to chapter? Is it, maybe you're going to see different environments and that's going to change? What are you thinking about that?
From the audio part.
Yeah, but yeah, in terms of the audio themes, audio in general. That's the
Yes.
themes, the sound, everything.
So the audio, what we choose is actually when you talk with the character, you get his mood. Like if you talk with Robin Hood, he gets some like pretty mood, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something I push in the game because I think each character has its own vibe and it might
Mm-hmm.
change, like if he's sad, you feel him say that he's sad, and if he's really happy, you need to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's based first on the characters and then on the environment itself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
on the demo it starts like very light, like ting, 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 ting,
Yeah.
ting. Because it's like, yeah, we are going to roll everything, it's going to be fun here, but later it might change. And
Mm-hmm.
I think audio is one of the things that actually express your feelings in the best way.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it's going to change. It's not going to be static for sure.
Because I was thinking it's I mean the big change I think was when in terms of for me that I remember when the guards were coming, like when and he was kind of panicking is like okay, and the audio kind of help with that sense of oh, what am I doing, like, and I was thinking come on, go somewhere, get out the window, do something, and then they came in and everything went downhill from
It
there.
was also comic there. It
Yeah,
was
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
comic
yeah, it
event.
was.
So it was we also like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
something like
it's
that.
tense,
So
but it's still funny. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yes,
I like
yes.
that.
So events like that we exploit them. We
Mm.
exploit them in objects.
So let's take a small because it's maybe we're halfway through. Let's do plugs. So we're gonna do some plugs at the end too. But for people who don't want to stay until the end, you should stay until the end. But let's just say, for people who who have to go to beds, I don't know because maybe it's late for them. Tell me a little bit about where people can find you. The game, everything. By the way, again, link in the description below to the Steam page of Plot of the Druid. There you can download Night Watch and you can also wish the game. But any other channels that you'd like people to know of where they can reach and see more about the game.
Basically, we are all around the media. You can find us in Facebook, in Twitter, in Instagram. We also have a Discord channel, um, and
Where can they
I
find the link? Like,
also
where do you have the link for the Discord?
yes.
Where can people? No, where can
So,
people find the link? I mean.
oh, where they can find it?
Mm-hmm.
I think I put the link in the in Facebook. I in the Facebook page. I put the link for Discord,
Mm-hmm.
and I also just open website. It's going to be published, I think, this week,
Mm-hmm.
and also there you can have access to all the media that I mentioned. Like you can click on Discord icon, and then you will immediately go to the channel.
And what's the address for the website?
It will be plotofthedroid.com.
Okay, okay. And on the social media channels, it's just Plot of the Druid. If people search for that, they're gonna find.
In for Facebook, yes,
Mm-hmm.
and also for Instagram. For
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, it will be Adventure S. Adventure S is like the shortcut for Adventure Studio. Adventure for
Live.
Adventure for Life S.
Okay.
Because that's the name of the studio is Adventure for Life Studio, and that
Mm-hmm.
actually represents what is my vision for the next games. Is this is for me like the job forever. So it's
Mm-hmm.
adventure for life.
So we
That's
can
what it
expect
represents.
another 50 years or so of the video games from you.
I,
You're gonna do
I
a
can
lot
hope.
of Plot of the Druids, or maybe obviously something else too.
Yes.
You know what? Maybe in 20 years, when you have a lot of successful games under your belt, Disney's gonna come in and be like, okay, you can do a Monkey Island. All right, we're gonna, we just want
Amen.
like 75% of all of it because that's the type of people they are. Well, they're lawyers and everything, and the
I
all
can
the.
just say amen to that. I'm an Orthodox. I came from an Orthodox family, so I can just say I wish amen.
So on my end, for people watching, just check me out on YouTube, youtube.com/cryptichybrid. Bitch should also subscribe there because that's my second channel and I have exclusives there too. Bitch.com/cryptichybrid, @cryptichybrid for Twitter. And just see the stuff in the description if you want to support me. I just want to go through this really quickly because the game is more important. Alright. Back to Plot of the Druid. Tell me about what engine are you using? What what is the game built on?
Okay, so it's built on Unity
Mm-hmm.
engine, the most popular engine for games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was working 4 years on Visionary Studio,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but at
That's
the
quite
end
popular too.
decided,
That's quite
yes,
popular with adventure games too. So
yeah,
why did you
why I
choose
changed.
Unity? Mm-hmm.
It gave me the starting point was very good because it gives all the point and click features that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
But when I tried, like I said, when I tried to become innovative in minigames and other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
then you start to need to invent the wheel. You need to do
Okay.
very you know you need to work hard to just make something new in the
Mm-hmm.
engine. So I saw that it doesn't give me what I want. Then I tried Unity with Adventure Creator plugin. Adventure Creator plugin is actually give you the starting point, the same like Visionaire Studio, like the point
Mm-hmm.
and click features, but it also give you something much more than that, that you can actually do anything very quick, to check mini games, new mini games in very fast way.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good engine for me, and it's also good for if I will go to mobile
All right.
someday.
Okay.
I don't know. So it will give me much more. Um, it will be much more easy to do that.
Mm-hmm. Also, that's maybe something you're thinking about porting, or releasing the game. Maybe not porting. Porting is not the right word. Releasing the game on mobile platform, maybe for tablets. Something like that. That you'd think it would. Is that kind of like a plan?
Um, in my general plan, no.
Mm-hmm.
I would first, I want just PC, Mac and Linux. For me, that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe to make another games, I will need more funds.
Mm-hmm.
So probably I will need to make, uh, in different platforms just to get more funds to
Mm-hmm.
make the other games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I will consider.
Are you thinking about maybe adding, just for the PC version, adding something like a controller support? Is that something, or is that kind of you know too foreign for a point-and-click adventure game in general?
I don't see really a point for that.
Hmm.
People might disagree with me. Maybe it's because I'm retro gamers. So
Right.
probably I don't think too much more than just a mouse and a keyboard.
Hmm.
Um, but it depends also on if people ask. If I see many people ask like why you don't have support for controller, then I can think on that.
Hmm. I'm just thinking that it maybe could be a jumping off point for potentially console versions, assuming the funds would be available. That's
Mhm.
like it's having a UI that can work with the controller like from the get go. Maybe it would be helpful for future console versions, assuming they would be made. Because I know some people do that. Like they make it so in case there is going to be a console version, it's going to be like easier to implement things.
So they think
Yeah.
from the
So
beginning.
yeah, so they still release the game only on, or initially still on PC, right? They just have control support because who knows? Like maybe they get the
Mhm.
funds, or they plan to release on consoles too, and they plan ahead for that. But again, it depends on if you want to bring. I mean, I would probably, it's for me at least, more likely to see Plot of the Druid on a tablet. I think it would be easier to get to more people. I don't know how many people play point and click adventure games on consoles, but on tablets I think it could do quite well.
Yeah, for me the most important is to get um, the entire feeling because if
Right.
you watch it on your mobile, and
Mm.
you have small screen, then you probably will not get the feeling same as if you
Oh,
play it on big screen.
I would not play it on a phone. It'd be like
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
it's
10-inch tablet or bigger. Like no, no, no. I can't.
I
I mean,
know there are
even
people that play it on
yeah, yeah,
mobile. It's
yeah. I mean, but something as like a point-and-click adventure game where detail is, I think it's very important, especially when you look at things and you try to find certain, or you have to combine things, or I don't know. I think it would be harder to work on a small screen. Some games could make it work, but depends on how you want to make that game. Oh, yeah, fair enough. So, anything? Did you have to do anything custom, even with Unity, or everything that you got in the with the software, it just works for you?
Of course, I need to write custom. I think almost every game that made eventually do something custom because this is how it works. If you want to be innovative. So, for example, one of the things that I didn't have, and I know it's for my community only, but I want something like to write for Hebrew, for in Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the localization available is in Hebrew, and it was like first because I want that game also to be in Hebrew because I wish there are more games in Hebrew for my kids so they can
Yeah.
also enjoy that because in Israel, it's not the mother language. English is not for
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
mother language. So when I was a kid, I want games that I can understand. So
Mm-hmm.
now I can understand my kids. Like they want to play something, but they don't understand it. So I told
Right.
them, wait, I will do Plot of the Droid in Hebrew. Don't worry, and you can enjoy that too.
Mm-hmm.
And this wasn't easy to make in the engine because there are right to left
Right.
issues and different fonts. It was also the case for Russian, like you need a different font. So
Mm-hmm.
you need the game the engine to support it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty hard to do, and I
Mm-hmm.
delayed it. I was like, okay, I will release the game with four languages: the German, English, um,
Spanish,
Italian,
French. I think, yeah.
French,
Yes. Yeah.
and Spanish. Yes. And then I will solve that issue. So that's what
Mm-hmm.
I did. After
Mm-hmm.
that, I was just working on Russian and Hebrew. And it was amazing, I made it and I got more people that played it. So why
Mm-hmm.
not?
Right. Yeah. That's. I
So
mean, it's obviously more work, but it's also going to bring more people, in to enjoy your game if they can play in their native language, which obviously it's a big thing. For me, I've been used to English because no one translates anything in Romanian, especially not games. Like especially when I was growing up or anything. Like if we got like a manual, that was like, oh, awesome. But yeah, for everyone else, then I get this this need and this desire to play in their native language. Yeah.
yeah, the most important thing is actually when you make games, first is to know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was like I want first to be that game should first needs to be for my kids. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I want them first to play, and if they can play, so it's like you're missing your point.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing is to make things that you like. If
Right.
you do that, you will have also motivation. So for me, this was something I was always want uh, to make. Also in English, but translated to
Yeah.
Hebrew.
Mm-hmm. So, um, something that we didn't touch on, but I think it's important. So you released the demo last year. Tell me a little bit about what was the reaction to it, like in terms of what people said, people who played it, maybe the reaction from the press. I know that's something that's difficult for an indie developer to get actual coverage, and it's very sad, but that's unfortunately true. So what was the reaction to releasing the demo?
I can say that it was really amazing, really, really amazing. I was very happy to see people enjoy that. I actually didn't get any comment that I was
Any
disappointed
bad
from.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm,
that comment. There was like maybe you can fix that. For example, like you said with Jace, so you can fix
mm-hmm.
that. Okay, but you like the game in general. That's the whole
Right.
point.
Yeah.
So I got a very positive comments, and one thing that was missing actually is that people told me in private, like I was really enjoying that. And I was mostly one that people will push it to the media because
Mm-hmm.
I'm, just one person that do that
Mm-hmm.
kind of game. And if you enjoy that, and I'm really happy that you told me that, but tell it also to the world,
Mm-hmm.
just help to spread that game,
Mm-hmm.
so more people will enjoy it. And then it also give more motivation for me to work on the next chapters.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something like it was really awesome, but also a bit like I was feeling like it could reach more people.
Yeah.
Okay, like if you look on the Twitter or Facebook, I see that there's no much many followers, even
Mm-hmm.
that all the people that play enjoy and become part of the community. But
Mm-hmm.
if they don't spread it, then it will become small. It will not,
Mm-hmm.
get the boost.
Mm-hmm.
So from developer, I was really enjoy that. From someone that want actually to continue to work on that game, I think I need more support from the community.
Mm-hmm. Well, more people to to know and share about it. One
Yeah.
thing that I was just thinking right now. So I know quite a few games do that. It's at least recently to have this prologue. Don't call it prologue. It's like a trend right now, but it's not. It might not be a bad thing per se. I just it's just obsessive to use the word prologue on everything. So it's a demo basically, right? A demo, and they call it a prologue, which is fine. That's not a the naming is just whatever. The point would be that to make it a separate release and page from the full game and have the prologue, the demo, right? Like Night Watch. It would be, it's a prologue. It would be great to have a separate page on Steam so people can actually, review your game and get hopefully more exposure based on that. I don't know if that's something that is possible or that actually helps. I'm just thinking that quite a few people do that. So it's like play the prologue, give a review, which reviews tend to get you hopefully some more exposure on Steam, and then the people who find you on Steam because of the reviews and everything, then they'll go to the main page of the full game and then hopefully wishlist it and buy it eventually. So maybe that could be something that that could help with spreading the word and getting more people to share, right? Because a review is not that big of a deal, and if you ask people, literally just ask on Twitter or on Facebook, I think you could get some pretty good responses with people just, oh yeah, I'll give a good review on for Night Watch because I liked it. I would definitely
Yes,
do that. I just can't. For example, like if I wanted to review Night Watch on Steam, I can't because it's the full game. It's on the same page as the full game. So maybe that's something to consider. For the future. I don't know because I know a lot of people do that with the prologue. So I'm guessing they're not doing it for nothing, right? Maybe that's a way to get more exposure through Steam's systems.
so thank you for mentioning that because I really think on that a lot
Mm-hmm.
in those days. There were some people that want to give me a review and they
Mm-hmm.
say they can't, and I didn't know that I can't. It just now I understand that you
Mm-hmm.
can't give me a review if it's in the full game, if it's inside the full game page.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like, yes, I'm going to do that. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing that did bother me is that, like there is numbers of downloads for the demo, a number
Mm-hmm.
of push lists. So all those statistics, they will start from scratch, like zero. What's
Yeah.
happening now? I'm not sure yet. I need to investigate that issue. If they restart from scratch, then I lose all those numbers for Steam because Steam has his algorithm that looking on your statistics, and then you
Mm-hmm.
start to see like it start from zero.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm not sure yet how it will be. Like if I will separate it to new page and I start from scratch, then if that's a good thing for me or no, because I already have number of wish lists and number of
Well,
downloads.
maybe you wouldn't
Uh,
need to make like maybe you wouldn't start from zero if you name it maybe something a bit different. Like leave the main page alone, make a new one with maybe an enhanced version. Maybe if you made any changes since the initial release to now, make it like, I don't know, a Kickstarter prologue or something like that, right? And make it different and leave Nightwatch as a demo on the plot of the Druid page, and then make a Kickstarter prologue or something like that, right? A version of Nightwatch, and that has its own page. So you're not going to lose anything from the original one. You still have the demo. People who find it there, it's fine. But you have another page where people can
okay, you
actually
have
just
the
review. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe you wouldn't lose if you would change certain things, and you could still leave Nightwatch on there. Like if it's detrimental, then yeah, I agree that it's hard to remove something like that. But if you can keep that demo, I mean, you still paid for the page, so maybe a new one
yeah.
would not
I
be
will
something
check
that.
it. I will check it definitely. You definitely it's something to think of, and I will do it
Yeah.
for sure. Yes.
Can you share anything about crowdfunding plans? Are you you know or is is it coming soon? Are you just are you in planning mode? What can you tell us about that?
Okay. So regarding the funding, first we have an issue from Israel to open Kickstarter. It's not in the list for the countries that allow to open Kickstarter. So I had a really big issue here, and I spent a lot of time, like almost 3 months, to open.
Oh, your sound went out again. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it's
Uh,
a filter.
you're back now. You're back.
Okay,
You're back. We can hear you fine.
so I'm thinking like I spent 3 months to make the campaign to
Mm-hmm.
make to open the company in United States
Mm-hmm.
only so I can open the campaign from Israel because from Israel I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the country is not in the list that allow to open campaign. So
Mm-hmm.
after 3 months, now I have company in United States that I can link it, and only now I get to the point that I can start to work on the campaign itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know people ask me why in the demo at the end there's no link to the Kickstarter, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason. There is a technical issue here that I will solve, and then I will put the link in the demo, and also I will give a link to the campaign that you can get notification when it's ready.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
going to happen soon. When I get all the things ready from the company, then I will send the link and we start to prepare the Kickstarter. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, and I really hope it depends a lot on things that not I can't influence them.
Right.
So I
Not in
can
your
hope
power,
that
yeah.
it will be like in 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I can hope.
Wait, sorry, one second, because it says you can't add Kickstarter links mentions to games on Steam now. Oh, you can't add? Huh. Okay, so maybe don't mention that. That's weird. That's a weird limitation, but
What?
I guess Tom Hardwidge says in chat that you can't add Kickstarter links or mentions to games on Steam now. Maybe they're limiting because it's against their policy. Wow. Okay. So I guess you can't mention Kickstarter, but you could have something that's related. But that's really crap, though. I mean, if you can't have, that's weird. I mean, I don't know. It is the biggest platform. By the way, have you released the demo on any other platform in addition to Steam? Have you thought about maybe
Uh,
GameJolt, itch.io? I don't think I found you there. I think I found you on Steam, the demo version at least.
I put it also in a Sweden store that's called Fire Studio.
Oh, I think
Um,
I've heard of it. Yeah.
yeah, so it's DRM free there. So I put
Mm-hmm,
it there, and I was trying to I send it to GOG,
mm-hmm,
GOG.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, I
mm-hmm.
call it GOG, but people
Well,
call
yeah,
it
GOG. Yeah, good
GOG.
old games.
But
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
that's fair.
So I sent them,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't reply me, and they wrote that if we didn't reply you, then don't try to bother. So I don't know. I
But
tried.
what? Yeah, that's weird. Why would they? I mean, they could say no or say at least why they didn't
I
accept
think
it.
there are many people that maybe tried, and they maybe they just get too many games to review.
Oh yeah,
So I don't
yeah,
know.
but
Maybe,
yeah.
I will try again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I will try
Well,
again.
for the full release, maybe because I mean,
Yes.
there will be some people who would like a DRM version, but GOG probably isn't the only avenue
Of
there.
course.
I mean, itch.io would be maybe one option for DRM free, or maybe on GameJolt. I don't know how it really works on GameJolt with payment and everything. I guess you could do that too on there, but I know on itch it works pretty occasion. You have multiple payment options, so maybe that if in again in case that GOG doesn't or it's weird or anything like that. But yeah, so are you're going to release an updated demo with once the Kickstarter page is in the at least in the notifying version?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So at least I will get a sense of how many people are actually interested. And
Mm-hmm.
then according to that, I can also plan my steps.
Mm-hmm.
We also have very interesting rewards. It's not just digital, also physical things. For example, there is, I don't know if you will see it with my green screen here, but the
Eh,
poster here for
we
the,
can see some of it. Oh yeah, there it
yeah,
is.
it's
You can't
there.
see the raccoon on his back. That's annoying.
Yeah, I don't know if you see it or not. Okay, so that's one thing. Um, I also have,
So that will be a poster, a really cool poster of the
yes, there's also this,
artwork.
you see, a shirt here. You don't see it. No. Okay, but
Kinda.
kind of, no. Okay, so anyway, there is a,
There we go. There we go. Stay there like that. Don't move. Stay like that for the remainder of the of the
here.
interview.
Okay, so now, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so there's t-shirts, there is going to be a magical cup. There's going to be many, like a mini statue of Jace. Maybe that depends also on the budget.
Hmm.
And also physical box. So there are going to be many physical also rewards, not
Hmm.
just digital. Because I'm a retro collector. Um, so first, I start to do the things that I like.
Hmm. Yeah, fair enough. Now going off Plot to do it for a little while. Um, are you playing anything these days, or are you looking forward to anything like outside of your work for Plot of the Druid? You know, what are you doing in the gaming scene? Are you playing anything? Or I don't know. Are you playing Cyberpunk? Because apparently everyone's playing that.
Yes, so I played a lot this year,
Hmm.
um, mostly with my kids. Um,
Well, okay. What do
we,
they like?
we
Don't tell me. Fortnite, Among Us. What do they play? Minecraft? Tell me.
no, no, no,
No,
no, no, no,
really?
no. They like point and click games. Yes, they
I
like
mean,
point and click games.
they're
It
not mutually
depends how you
exclusive.
raise them. It
Right,
depends how you
right,
raise them.
right.
So I think like when they are very, very, like a baby, I was like, okay, take the mouse. Now you can do it. You can do
Oh
it.
yeah, that's
Yeah. So it depends how you raise them. And now they are like, we just want more point and click games. They played Indiana Jones. They played Simon. They played um, a Broken Sword. Now actually, we finished the entire series of Broken
oh.
Sword, which is really recommended because the stories are very, very good ones. And I learn a lot, It's for me like
Mm,
a research for the developer. When
right.
you play games, then you learn from them. You learn what you like, or what you don't like, what working and what not. So it's like you enjoy and also do research for your
Mm.
game.
I think
So
one of the cool things about the Broken Sword series is that it spans so many years. I think that maybe the first one was like it's just 96 or something like that, but like you have like probably like 15 years worth of evolution of point and click adventure games with that series. Because what they're five, I think, right?
it's
Like
fun.
overall, yeah. So you can get a lot of the changes to see like, okay, so this was in Broken Sword 1, this was in 2, and then you see how the genre evolved to 4 and the fourth and fifth one, which I think the fifth one is relatively recent, right? Like a few years ago. So that's really cool to see because not a lot of series are
Yeah,
that long.
they managed to be in 30 years. Like it's not that easy at all
No.
in that genre, and it's like big kudo to them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess it could be, well, maybe another example. I don't know if you're thinking about, your children playing that Siberia. I think that's it's not it's not as long, obviously, but I think the first one was in the early 2000s, and then the last one was again a couple of years ago, probably 29. I think 2019. So that's also pretty, uh, you know, long series in terms of the span of the
I
years
haven't
that
I
it covers.
haven't played them. Haven't played them. I know also Monkey Island was like there were some many years there in the
Mm,
development. Like you see Monkey Island 1, 2, 3, how they change the visual, for example, during the development. So yes, there are some big companies that
mm,
manage to pass a lot, but Revolution is they are really successful to pass all the obstacles that the genre had.
yeah.
So,
So, is there anything that you miss, like from the old games, from your memories of the '90s adventures? Is there anything that new point and click adventure games, you know, feel like they're missing compared to those earlier ones?
yes, actually, I think like pixel art, good pixel art,
Mm-hmm.
and this is something very like there are pixel artists that very good, but to get the retro feeling, that's not something very easy, and that's
Mm-hmm.
something I really like because it gives you imagination. You
Mm-hmm.
can imagine what's in the scene. It depends how much detail the pixel has. So that's
Mm-hmm.
something I really missing. The good pixel art and also the music that was made from meat like all those beep beep
Mm,
beep beep,
yeah,
and it was
MIDI, yeah, or
amazing how they
MIDI.
did it with just several from a few beeps. How you can make a very charming sound.
Mm.
It's hilarious.
Well, the thing is, they were limited back then, so if they could, they probably would have made something more more complex, more challenged, more yeah. So yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
but for me, it's like yeah, I'm biased,
mhm.
but
Yeah, obviously it's gonna be yeah.
yeah, but my test was I gave my kids to play those games, and they say like, we like it, we love it, it's good. And I was like, yes, you like it, but you see all the trivia over there in the TV, all those Polish things, and you like pixels? They are, oh yes, it looks amazing. So I understand it's not just if I go on that, it's also probably like an art by itself, it's special art.
Yeah, especially when it can be as good, back in the 90s as it is now. Because not a lot of things in terms of art, right? Not a lot of things stand the test of time. Like, and I've been known to say this a lot. If you watch old movies or old TV shows, and I mean, when I mean older, I mean 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s, stuff like that. If you watch them now, at least in my view, they're so childish in terms of, everything. Well, maybe not cinematography because I'm not an expert in that, but in terms of the dialogue and the plot lines and the story, I think they're all like, it was like they were written by, 14-year-olds. And but those are products of their time. They just don't hold up as well. Whereas games, there's certain games that are so good that you can play them and enjoy them almost, at the same level in, 94 and 2014 or 2024. And that's a very difficult thing to do, to have something that lasts that long. In terms of especially in terms of the controls and the UI and everything. Of course, the visuals too, but it's like, you play certain games from the 90s and they're like, well, this is crap. In terms of the movement and the abilities and the
Yeah,
mechanics and even the level
the
design.
gameplay is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
something that must advanced.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that that's why um, I always care about like the gameplay must be very smooth, so you don't feel like it's too clunky to control.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Anything newer that you enjoyed recently in terms of point and click adventure games? Like anything that came out in the last year or so? Anything that
Um,
stands out?
from the last year.
Well, let's just say, yeah. It doesn't
Like
have to be.
Broken Sword 5 is
Mhm.
like in 2014, I think.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's called the last. Uh, there are indies that do great things. Like, oh yeah, Katy Rain.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Catherine. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in 2016, and I was really enjoyed that from the
Mhm.
story. Also,
Mhm.
Blackwell series,
Which one? Sorry.
Blackwell series,
Oh yeah, Blackwell. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
and Gibus.
Mhm. Right.
So those games really like I really enjoy them.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing for a genre that doesn't really. I really don't think it gets enough attention from press. I really don't think it does. You know, adventures in general, point and click adventures in particular. I mean, there's so many great games in this genre that are constantly, being released and being made. Like I think right now on Kickstarter, I'm waiting for at least two or three point and click adventure games that are that I pledged to. So and there are more coming. There's gonna be Prim. I don't know if you know Prim. It's a game. It has a demo out today. Actually, that's a plug. So check out Prim game. Just search it somewhere. You can find it on my channel too. It's a really it's a
Yeah, it looks
you
awesome.
I'm sure you're gonna, yeah, you probably know it. So it looks great. It's black and white. It's absolutely lovely, and that's coming to Kickstarter soon. And that's in development, has a demo out. I mean, I'm also looking forward to, I don't know if you know Inspector Waffles. That's a pixel art game with the detective cat, and that's going to come out this year. So there's lots and lots of games in this genre that I again I don't think they get enough, press or
Coverage.
enough attention because it. Oh, and despite that, people find them and enjoy them. It's just, it's a little sad because there's so much in this genre alone. You could play, every week you'd have something new. Like last week, Encodia came out, so that's 3D, and also point and click adventure with a little girl and a robot, and it's lovely too. So there's so many, and I know there was another one announced yesterday, I think, and it's there's so many. It's really great. And Not Another Night, it's something that I've played, and it's pixel art, and it has really like that old school feeling, and I'm sure you're gonna like it. Just search for it, like you specifically, like
Which one?
search for Not Another Night. It's a game where you play a bellboy who has to get rid of everyone in the hotel, guests and staff, in a weekend, and you're gonna love it because it's full of pop references. They're like characters based on real ones. They're characters based on like Hulk Hogan and on Sarah Connor and the Terminator, and it's because we're of the same age, and I'm sure you have a lot of pop references, same as me. So I
Sounds
think you're
like
gonna like that.
Back to the Future.
Oh
It
yeah,
sounds like
it does
Back
have
to the
that
Future.
feel.
There is someone that do take references from the 90s. His name
Oh,
is
this
Daniel Spadoni. Daniel
I
Spadoni.
don't.
He make like a mix between like Monkey Island and Back to the Future. Things like
Yeah,
that. He's always doing like yeah. So
yeah.
I don't
There's
know
so many.
how
So
Disney doesn't sue him, but
I mean, you can work around it to some extent. Maybe if you, or maybe they just haven't found them yet, because they could be pretty
yeah,
litigious.
yeah.
But yeah,
It takes
there's
time for them to find you. Disney
yeah,
also
yeah.
find us when we did Indiana Jones. Then they just told us like, okay, just remove the demo.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Again, give them 5 years. If you pitch them the right way. I mean, look at them now. They're trying to work with as many studios as possible. Like they dropped. Well, they dropped. I guess they finished their exclusivity, their licensing deal with Electronic Arts. So from the rumors and everything, it seems like they're going to work with more publishers and studios to make more games in at least in the Star Wars in the Star Wars universe. But that can expand with Indiana Jones and any LucasArts IP basically. So who knows? Why not? We have to be positive about this.
We
I
are
mean,
waiting.
yeah, just give him a call because he's available after Plot of the Druid, of course. Now, anything else that you want to talk about? Anything that you think we missed? Anything that you want to tease? Let's how we're gonna wrap this up in a big way.
In the big way.
I'm not, no pressure. I'm kidding. It's just just you have to say
I
something
mean,
amazing right now.
yeah. So one thing that I can say, there is no good story without a pen. You understand what I'm talking about.
All right.
So,
So,
no, kidding,
so
kidding. But
I
really,
mean,
I'm continuing working on the next chapter. It's almost
mhm,
ready. Even that the Kickstarter is not ready yet, but um, the next chapter is like 80% done. So
mhm,
you will see it like I think 3 months probably.
mhm. So wait, if let's go take a time machine a little bit. The Kickstarter is successful. You have at the very least the base, the base pledges or sum to finish the, let's say, the first episode of Plot of the Druid. When are you thinking that would come out? Are you close to
Uh,
release? Closer to release, I mean, than we would assume it this year, next year.
the plan is for the next year. If
Mm,
everything just go by the plan, like if the Kickstarter, it will succeed, but when it
exactly. Yeah.
succeeds.
Right. Right.
um, yes, so I'm thinking like for the next year to finish
And
it.
that means full voiceover. All the
Yes,
right. Because the demo is voiced, and that's we talked about this
yes,
yesterday. It's
that's very important. It must be voiced. Yes.
hmm
I also want to localize it to the 6 languages I show in the demo. So I also
Mm-hmm.
want
Mm-hmm.
that to be localized. It
Mm-hmm.
depends on the stretch goal. It will be part of the stretch goal. So
Right.
there's going to be actually very cool stretch goal there, like a branching story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like in Indiana Jones game, they have like a branching story that you
Mm-hmm.
can choose the team path or the
Mm-hmm.
weak path or the feast path.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those three are like a different story with the same location, but with a different story and different puzzles. And then they merge to one story. So for me, it was
Mm-hmm.
like amazing, and I want to do that. And that's of course budget.
Right.
So that's also something I would like to try to get. Like if I get to that stretch goal, then I would do a branching story.
Mm-hmm. And assuming that's going to be the case, would that branching story also lead to multiple endings, or would
Yes,
yeah? Okay.
yes, that's what I want. I
Mm-hmm.
actually want you mentioned if there is a way to fail in the game. So
Mm-hmm.
no, but for the end of the game, it's like you choose a different ending.
Mm-hmm. You could get a worse ending than a better ending because okay,
Yes.
I get it. Right, right, right. So you're not gonna fail, but you could do better if you
So that's
if you.
also a stretch goal. So the
Mm-hmm.
stretch goal for me are like really cool things that I can do in the story and also in the mechanic
Mm-hmm.
with the shape shifting. So everything is going to be mentioned in the Kickstarter. So just keep your ears and watch the media because I will post it. And if you can subscribe to the website plotofthedroid.com, go and subscribe because then I can add you to to the mailing list, and I can tell you when the Kickstarter starts
Mm-hmm.
if you missed the link.
Right, right.
So you
So
can right
subscribe
now
to.
go right
Mm-hmm.
now go right plotofthedroid.com and subscribe, and then you will know when the Kickstarter is starting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's really useful to have a newsletter because again, there's lots of things happening. People can miss stuff. So okay, that's so plotofthedoit.com, right? That's the website.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. You know the name of the game, you know the name of the website,
Exactly.
the.
That's why I keep Plot of the Droid and not Adventure for Life because that's my
Mm,
first commercial game, and
mm-hmm.
people remember you basically by the name of the game and not by
Right.
the name of the studio. It's much
Mm-hmm.
easier.
Mm-hmm. I mean, how people know Quake, and I mean, sure, not a lot of people know id Software, but
Yeah.
yeah, the name recognition. I mean, I wonder how many people know that Valve made Half-Life. It's like maybe they, it would be interesting to see some statistics like that. But yeah, I agree. It's the branding of the name is the biggest thing that's gonna draw people and is gonna stay in their mind. But yeah. So anything else? That's it. Subscribe to the
No,
newsletter.
if you have more questions, you always can PM me. So
And
that's it.
Discord, right? So that's another big thing. If people want to, get in
Yes,
touch
be
in.
involved in the community. It's good because I'm really communicative.
Mm-hmm.
If people want to ask questions or bring ideas, I always open mind to that things. I like to listen to the community. So go to
Mm-hmm.
the channel and just be involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just
We are
say,
waiting for
okay,
you.
I want to become a gerbil in the full game. Like, is that available? Can I
Yeah,
become an
sure. Why
ostrich?
not?
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, a bear, because like druids and bears are kind of connected to some extent. At
Yeah, there
least,
is something there. I don't know
yeah.
why is the
Actually, I have no
connection, but
idea. I have no idea, but you know what? I'm planning to play Plot of the Druid, so I learn more about druids because I don't know much about them. It's like there were some weird people in what's now the UK, but other than that, I don't know much about them.
yeah,
It's
I learn too. I do
yeah.
research all day about droids,
Well,
so
that's the whole thing. It's like I want to play
yeah,
your game because I want to know more about the druids. I don't want to read. I want to play. have something nice. All right, so plotofthedruid.com, Plot of the Druid on Facebook, on Instagram, Adventures for Life S.
Yes.
Adventure for Life S on Twitter if you want to know more about Plot of the Druid and you want to know when it comes out, when it launches the Kickstarter. Yeah, that was it. Thanks so much, Yakir, for coming on. And yeah, any parting words for the people who are watching?
Thank you, Chris. I really enjoyed that. It was blessed. Can say
I
more than
mean,
that.
we went really well. I mean, I really thought that would go like super long, but we were actually pretty efficient, I think. I don't know. That's pretty good. Although, I was kind of hoping more teasers. Like some dragons, some, I don't know, lizard people, some, I don't know.
You won't fool me in the tongue, not today.
Okay, all right. It's gonna happen eventually, but yeah.
Yeah,
If I have to,
yes.
I have to.
If you look very close at my shirt, then
Yeah, there's actually some interesting elements that people can find, and they can speculate on them because Yakir is probably not gonna confirm or deny if a character is good or bad, or if they're eventually in the game and their position. It's he's pretty secretive, but that's that's a good thing when you make a new game. All right, so that was it. Thanks so much everyone for watching. On my end, just subscribe because the more people that watch me, the more people I can get to. I know it sounds a little bit selfish, but that's how it works. I want to get as many.
He's a great guy.
Exactly. So the more people watch me, the more people I can show the games that I'm, interested in. And I'm interested in a lot of indie games that don't get a lot of exposure or a lot of press. And I think that's crap because I'd rather play Plot of the Druid than Cyberpunk 2077. Some people might say that's blasphemous, but it's not. I just it really excites me more than yet another first-person wannabe shooter RPG. I mean, it looks cool, I guess, but I like stories, I like puzzles. And if you like those too, subscribe. I'm gonna do more interviews. Hopefully, I'm gonna get Johan for a Prim interview about that game, and who knows? There's gonna be lots of interviews coming. So stay tuned. Thanks again, Yakir, for being on. And you're going to sleep. What's the plan? Because it's getting late.
Yeah.
Are the kids sleeping? They should be sleeping. Yeah,
Yes.
they should be sleeping at this hour. I mean, come on. Okay, so thank you to everyone watching. Thanks to you, and well, I'll see you again probably tomorrow for a new live stream. Check out the channel for more videos, and yeah, good night. Have an awesome week.
Good night.